Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we're here with Joseph Bouley of Off Color Discussions. How's it going?
Good. Good. You can just call me Joe B or Joe. It's
cool.
Fine. Yeah, I think it was only because on Facebook you had to put your full name, and even though everybody calls me Joe, I still put Joseph down on everything.
Yeah.
So it's weird when people use it back. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Pretty cool. So let's get started. As another podcast host to another, want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. Host Off Color Discussions or OC Discussions with a friend of mine, Billy C. We basically just talk to people, each other that we find exciting, other podcast hosts, just open format conversations about whatever's going on in their lives, current events, and we feature a craft beer each episode. The goal is to get all of New Hampshire craft beer, but there's just so many good ones out there.
Yeah.
And it's hard to choose. It's so too many.
Yeah, because I forget, I spoke to another gentleman who kind of has the same thing. He talks about craft beer a lot, and he does, because I think that's what his show is about, is craft beer.
Yeah.
And there's a ton in New Hampshire. There's a lot of selection, a lot of different styles. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're pushing 80 breweries the last time I checked, and I know of a couple more popping up that I know. Was it To Share Brewing in Manchester, still in their building phase. I think they just got their tanks in, and they did an Indigo campaign that for $10 towards them they'd give you a shout out. So of course I did it as a podcast for advertising.
Yeah.
And, I try to comment on brewery stuff when they're getting started to get the show's name in there. So oh, who's this? And then hopefully eventually it'll pay back, getting them on or getting some beer from them or something.
Yeah.
A glass would be nice. But yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah. So what do you guys typically discuss on your show?
We've had a politician on,
okay.
Roger Tilton out of New Hampshire, he was running for state senate. He wants to legalize marijuana, which we feel it should be. You're an adult and you shouldn't be told what you can't do, especially when alcohol is allowed and all the problems that can cause for people. Weed is never going to kill somebody. So, it might not allow you to drive a car.
Yeah.
But again, you shouldn't. Abuse happens with anything. But we've gone from politics to hip hop artists to brewery owners, business owners. Talk about everything. I'm trying to learn. Basically, I'm an idiot for a long time in my life, and over the past 3 years, just changed perspective on stuff, and now it's trying to learn as much as I can and give back. We started doing fundraisers, and the studio is now an LLC, so that's going to host more fundraisers and rent out studio time and all that, trying to figure out those ropes and
that's pretty cool.
Just catch my piece of the pie before this world goes crazy and who knows what happens.
I think it's already going crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, we cover a variety of topics, whatever we want to talk about, sometimes current events, some conspiracy theories. We've gone from cryptocurrency, which that one Facebook doesn't like you to use. We had a comedian on that also sells adult products. Those were hysterical episodes. But we want to work with her in the future because she does fundraising events.
Yeah.
So plus she's a stand-up comedian. So
that's pretty good.
If I can get into all scenes, basically, when I looked at podcasts, what I wanted to do was, as weird as everybody's inspired by Joe Rogan, I looked at it as, well, he's not going to be able to do that forever.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be the next him. It's more finding out what my thing is.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just learning because, like I said, dumb for too long, and now it's now I got to play catch up.
Yeah. And I do like your niche because I like the off-colored topics kind of thing. 'Cause I think there's a lot of push to have everything very politically correct and nice and neat.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want that. They want real conversations with, you know, just kind of the more nuanced, nitty gritty type stuff.
It's hashtag real talk.
Yeah.
I try to put in when I make the post or whatever, just because I want real conversation with people. I don't want that scripted, what do you have for breakfast? What do you do for here? What's this? And then, you know, staying away. Like, I think for growing up in the 80s, born in 80, growing up in the 80s, we had a special upbringing where we got to see like the birth of the internet and technologies and kind of grow up with it before it got to be the outrage machine that it is now.
Yeah.
But so now it's like, but I think we stepped away too far, that now these, I don't even know what you call them, they're not all millennials, but whatever the outrage people are, like their parents helicoptered parent them, so now it's up to our generation to try to fix things. So part of it is being that voice, and you can only really be that voice if you talk real, uncensored, unfiltered, you know, have conviction in what you're saying. Don't just say the most outlandish thing to be heard on Twitter, but at least do some research and have some conviction in what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, that's something you don't see a lot, is people actually like solidly taking a side and sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people won't stand by, you know, like you said, their convictions. And they kind of just like, oh, we apologize. We're tired of being screamed at every 5 minutes, you know. That was quite a bit.
I think it was a couple of episodes. It actually might have been the one that was just released. I called out Hillary Clinton. She can come get me anytime. I think for the one thing with Roger Tilton is I was probably more on leaning left before talking to him. And then I approached him with like, oh, you know, is this like the craziest thing you've ever seen? We got this reality star president that just, you know, spouts off on Twitter. There's like no control. You got all this crap. And he's like, well, no, if you actually look back and, you know, talked about Nixon and all these other problems. And it's like, oh, you guys just it's just been happening. You guys just keep letting it cycle. Like that can't happen anymore. Like you can't just keep letting it keep going. So it's like, all right, start actually looking at things and becoming more involved. And that was probably when, you know, let's do this fundraiser and get involved. You got to be involved in your community. Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Definitely. That's pretty cool. And that's one of the big points of my show as well, is, you know, a lot of people always complain about, you know, we need more government intervention on everything because, yeah, well, that's my opinion too, but they're always like, because if there's no government, the businesses are going to go crazy. Well, you know, in my case, I'm trying to build up a show that if a business steps out of line, I could literally call them out and be like, what are you doing? Yeah. And, you know, do my part to keep businesses in check.
Oh, but you're also advertising for businesses that, I mean, for probably 12 years ago, I did music for a while, and we went up to like Concord to JYY. I don't even know if that's still around anymore. It used to be like 104.5 or something like that back in the day. Yeah. But looking for advertising for just like commercial spots for the shows that we were doing, and like the money they want, it's like, I'm a little independent artist. Like, I can't afford it. You're out of your mind. Like, so podcasts like yours, and I'm sure there are others in other states that, you know, are state focused. I think they help. Like, you're advertising for people in a new age, for an older crowd, or even some people that might have no idea how to work any of this. Like one of our sponsors, Conic Construction, like he has no idea when it comes to like technology. So I'm trying to like build his stuff and do stuff for him on top of, you know, the advertising. And it's crazy what people looked at technology and were like, it's just a fad. It's like, no, it's not a fad, man. It's just going to keep building and building and building. Like, you got to dive in and get ready. Yeah, peel back. Like, you know, you should go out into the mountains or trails and not be one with nature, but, you know, be outside. But you also need to know how stuff works and where to turn to, or at least make network connections with people that know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, if you're in business, understand general LinkedIn, Facebook type stuff, and at least know how to Google something.
Yes.
Yeah. And then go from there. Actually, it's funny. My partner the other day, we were talking to one of our clients, and the lady, a little bit older, doesn't quite understand technology. So what she says is, "Oh, I was told digital media is important for businesses. Can you put digital media on my website?" And the dude's just like, "Sure."
Yeah, I know.
So it was funny.
I don't want to tell you no, but
yeah, it's funny.
What made you want to start?
Well, all this?
Yeah.
I like talking to people. That's pretty much it,
Yeah.
I realized, like I said, I was a salesman, and when I moved back from the military, I had no professional reputation in the area. So my mentor told me that, it's a really good idea to, do podcasts or something like that. Typically what you would do is like just use Google, what is it, like the Hangouts?
Yeah.
And you just do like a joint interview, and you just sit and talk to them, and you kind of like, it helps you build your reputation by co-branding with them a little bit. And then when I got out of sales, I realized I just like talking to people, and it kind of just grew, and I officially became the New Hampshire Business Show. I changed my name and then rolled from there. So that's pretty much that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you? Like, where did it all start? What did you do like before and all that stuff?
I've done a bunch of different things. Mainly manual labor, but now I sit behind a desk at a computer. Kind of not lied, but forced my way in. We had moved down to Pennsylvania for a while, and I'd kind of got in with the office doing their logistics and invoicing and all that stuff. So when we moved back, like manual labor, as hard as those people work, depending on what it is, some of them don't pay well.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, I need to get into an office, and now I'm in the office, and it drives me nuts because it's just stare at the screen, type up your stuff, people are quiet or they're whispering behind you. So I started listening to podcasts more, and then talking with Billy one night at his daughter's birthday party. Like, it was just, I don't even remember how the subject came up, but it was like podcast. Oh yeah, I've always wanted to do that. All right, let's do it, man. Let's just do it. Like, a lot of, I think my life has been, I want to do this, or I'm going to do this, and never do that. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to be a tattoo artist for a while, and I was like, all right, well, it's this much to be an apprentice, and you should practice your drawing on this and get this book, and got this book, and was like, man, I guess I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, or a different school. I went to school for 3D animation and web design, and then had my son, and where I was working allowed unlimited overtime. So, all right, well, see you later, school. Instead of just sticking it out that extra time to get that and finish that, there was nothing that I was ever finishing. So when the topic came up, I'm like, yeah, let's run with it. It kind of just sat there for a while. This whole approaching people, trying to, talk to brewery owners or business owners in general, people that, in my eyes, at least have better stature than I do. So it's like, that's all. This never happened. I was an introverted person that stuck to myself. I had my clique, and that was it. And this is my life. And I went on a camping trip with a couple guys. The owner from Able was there. The owner from CrossFit Earn was there. It was a crazy weekend. One of the guys got hurt. They had to leave. It was raining. Bad. Like, he split his forehead open. Needed stitches. They canoed him back, but the waves were crazy. Like, it was this huge ordeal for a one night sleeping thing in October, which, whatever. It was just, the next day was nice, but that night, and then that at night, sitting around the fire after everything had calmed down and was back to relatively normal, just having conversations with all these people that I've never talked to nor would ever really talk to. Like, it started opening my eyes to different things. So it was just, once started working to get the house, and got the house, looked for one that had a room for a studio, and then went for like another 6 months without, not really talking about it. but the idea was still there, and I was just, you buy a new house and this needs to get done, the grass needs to get done, walls have to get done, bathrooms, like all this stuff your house needs to get done. There's a million projects that never ends, apparently.
Yeah.
Still learning after a year, and it's always something to do. But we started getting close to the end or the middle of summer, and I almost not panicked, but was starting to freak out and get stressed out because it wasn't happening. And I'm like, no, enough. Started buying equipment, set everything up, told Billy this is the start date, this is when we go. We tried to do a couple before that to test.
Yeah.
One was definitely a disaster. The second time was better, but still longer than could be put out. And then set a date. All right, this is when we start. We did 4, scheduled days with people. And then at the 5th one, we had Carl, the owner of Able, on. And I'm like, all right, this is when we're going live. Website went live, iTunes, everything that is podcast related, hosting, all that crap. And then slowly started just building up, and we skyrocketed up for a while. It was good.
That's pretty cool. Now, did you have a lot of tech experience beforehand?
No, I mean, other than doing like the 3D animation or the web design stuff, I know how to Google and do stuff. Like I can type. I'm not a typist. Like my wife can type fast. Like she actually types. I just not one. I can do multiple fingers, but it's definitely not typing.
Yeah.
Like I watch her type fast. I'm like, no, I'm all set. Like I just can't. I couldn't even keep up if I wanted to. But other than that, like I did music for a while, setting up shows. Like was the lead person on that after my producer left when we tried to form our own record label. Did a couple shows in Nashua and in Manchester, and then drama on that scene, and then just bowed out. It was just too much. I can't take that crap. So, but no, tech, not really. I know enough to point and click, and you slowly start to learn where levels need to be as far as like you're adjusting here, and then meeting up with other hosts that might have an idea or something that they do is a little different. You're like, oh, all right, and you start to do that stuff, and so far it's been interesting.
That's pretty cool. It's not the same thing. I have no tech experience at all, and I even have a completely different setup at my house where I have like a mixer and all this stuff, and I just wanted to throw it all away. I get so frustrated with it all. So now it's just USB mic, cameras. Like I'm so bad at that stuff.
I slowly I've learned that you can't go cheap on everything.
Yeah.
I did try to go for like I had one video capture card, but I wanted 2 cameras for if we do 4, because of where the one camera set up, you can't see both people that talk if there's 4 of us.
Okay.
Like we had ones where like the guy that's sitting over here is blocked out and all you see is this fat head, and it's like, all right, that's never gonna work. So we got another camera, but I just tried to get like just a switcher. You just press a button and it would change it. But then when it would change, like it'd break it up, you see all this static, and I'm like, all right, it's never gonna work. So it's like, all right, well there goes that $20 thing when I could have put $20 towards the $100 video capture device that we have. So
yeah.
Live and learn.
I know you're paying on that.
I thought this was going to do what I needed it to do.
Yeah. But I originally had multiple cameras. I had like really nice cameras, and I would set those up, and I found out that made editing take forever because I had 3 cameras and I had to do all this stuff. And now it's like, no. Editing takes me about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I got a sound guy.
Yeah.
Was to run that stuff. Because I found that when I'm doing it, especially, the mixer, the one camera, if I'm doing it, then I'm constantly watching levels, watching where it goes, watching the time, adjusting knobs, and I'm like, I can't do that. Talk. Yeah, like, so, I mean, for a long time, Billy cared a lot. He can ask some good questions on the fly for never doing research on stuff. But as we've gotten to this point now, it's like, all right, you want to step that next game up. Like, you got to do research. You got to look into stuff and actually not figure out questions, but get ideas of what you want to say, what topics you want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah,
Off the cuff stuff is definitely amateur level when it comes to some of the things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you get into like politics, a little research beforehand is nice.
Yeah.
And not to like try to trick people or anything, but you know.
No, but you should know what you're talking about on your side. Like, as much as people, I've talked with people that they're like, oh, I don't do politics, but you voted for that guy. Like, what do you mean you don't do politics? Like, you just voted for him because you didn't like the other person?
Yeah.
But you don't even know what they're going for. You just don't like that person, and that's why we're where we're at today. Like, it's as weird as it is, because I'm not that I'm a Trump supporter, but I will say I've come around on some things. The human trafficking, sex trafficking, pedogate, whatever you want to call it, that shit blows my mind with how it's dismissed, but yet such a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, just you see people just snatching kids and, you know, being abducted all the time. That stuff blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's looked at because it gets thrown out at the same time with the what other flat Earth or whatever conspiracy that it's like, but this is real. Like, who cares about this stuff? Like, this is real, and he did shut down a lot of that stuff and is fighting that fight, which is just bizarre.
Yeah, it's freaking weird how prominent that type of stuff is, even in the United States.
And, it's horrible. Down south, out west. Like, it's no joke. California's got a big problem with it. I mean, it's just weird, like, that it's a real thing that gets pushed out because it gets thrown into like this Bohemian Grove conspiracy that the elites are just doing it because they're lizard people and they want kid blood or whatever. And it's like, all right, who cares about that part? How about these kids are being taken? Like, we should be finding them. There's a guy, Craig Sawyer, that he's a veteran. He has a company called Vets for Child Rescue.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before. Yeah.
That's what he does. Like, and he's always looking for volunteers, whether if you're a former military, if you have criteria, like, he'll take you for that, or however you can help out. But like, that's real.
Yeah.
Flat Earth is just, who cares?
Yeah, and it's one of those arguments that people will just like battle endlessly. But I'm like, take that computing power and just put it towards, like you said, like child abduction and, you know,
real stuff, homelessness,
like slavery and actual stuff that's going on, you know.
Yeah, slave trades in Libya, like that's real stuff, bro.
Yeah. You guys care like a ton about, is the Earth actually flat?
Yeah, but I just don't get the argument of, well, you can never prove it. No, you can prove it. Like, it's not there are scientific methods to prove these things. And if you don't even want to follow that, do a Kickstarter campaign, get however much it costs, get put up in the shuttle and go up.
Yeah.
And if
look for yourself.
You know what I mean? Like, there are ways around it, especially with like Kickstarter, Indiegogo. Like, I'm sure you could easily get enough crazy people to pay you money to get shot up in a rocket, or try to do that rocket that guy did. Yeah. But he only went up 1,800 feet. So it's ballsy. It's ballsy. I'm gonna put this rocket ship together and hope it works and not blows up. So.
Yeah. And just think about, like, I saw this picture it's been a while, but this woman standing next to this, literally like this book of like almost her height worth of like paper. It's like huge, and it's all like the code she wrote to, you know, get out of the Earth's atmosphere for NASA back when they were still doing all this stuff.
Yeah. And
I'm like, some dude in his backyard's not, you know, calculating the angle of trajectory to get out of the Earth's atmosphere. And
no. Even just the amount of thrust that you need to defeat gravity.
Yeah.
Or mass, however, I don't know. There's so many theories, so much different crap out there.
Yeah.
But it's finding the real stuff. That's the important stuff.
Yeah, like little things we can do. Like you said, like, you know, help homeless people out or not abduct children.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So,
what branch do you serve?
Army.
Nice.
Yeah. I just realized I've been out of the military for like 3 years now, almost 4, because I just finally got my actual like award saying you're done, your service is over, and I was like, yes, like I can't be called back.
I think that's probably one of my only regrets is not serving. Yeah, I think I know if I had the same mind state now as I did then, it would have been a lot different.
Yeah.
No matter, again, conspiracy or politics into it, whether it's bankers, wars, or, we're everywhere, the people that serve sacrifice more than anybody. Well, except for their wives. Cause, but, so I think when we did the fundraising thing, like, veterans have been a big part of it. We've had multiple veterans on. Carl is a Army vet. Troy from CrossFit Earns, a Marine vet. Randy was a Marine vet. Also, we have a couple other vets. Like, it's just, I know Billy's dad served, so I don't know, they mean a lot for service. So I think a lot of our stuff is geared towards doing stuff for them. Like, we're always down to help a cause.
That's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of causes out there especially for the vets, because you get pretty messed up when you start doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of ways to help.
Yeah. And then combat whether it's bankers wars or whatever the issue is. Yeah. Everybody hates the New World Order. I think everybody should serve. That was one of the things that we talked about with Jim from Veterans Counts, is that every 2-year service. You want free college? 2-year service. You want free medical? 2-year service. Like that. It solves a lot of issues right there. You want all this free stuff. There you go. Sign the line.
Yeah.
Go see what this world is really like. Go look at everything. So that way you know why you're actually fighting oppression. Not because somebody took Yoo-hoo out of the vending machine and now you're outraged.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Well, and it's also good because just going through like basic training and training and all that stuff does quite a bit to make you realize that everything just sucks.
Oh yeah.
Like it makes it definitely puts contrast to the good.
Yeah.
When you're sitting there and you're just like, oh my god, I am miserable. You know.
I did CrossFit for a while, and I was big into like doing the competitions or like the Murph or Glenn, like the big workouts that are like the nationwide things, and it's miserable. But you got 20 other people being miserable with you. So it's like you're miserable during it. At the end, you're like, oh, man, it wasn't so bad. This is my time. Like, it's obviously not basic training, but at least it's that core group of you're suffering with everybody. Yeah. So I think when we say it, people are like, well, what about medical conditions? All right, well, not everybody's going to be front line. Not everybody's going to be a pilot. Not everybody's going to be the guy behind the computer telling you where targets are. Like, there are a million jobs that you can do that, all right, maybe you're not going through this basic training. Like, I'm sure there's easy ways to level it off where, all right, you're not going to go on front line, so you don't need to go this heavy, but you're going to go this heavy. But there's going to be a group of you, so you're going to have those 20 people to go through suck with. Yeah. So...
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point. Well, opinion, And
it'll probably never happen because it's a free country.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. We can't force people to serve. That's cool. I mean, we used to kind of, but
people wanted to serve. Yeah. Like you look at like the older generations, like they wanted to serve for the idea of this country, whether they were fed lies about communists or whatever the hell the problem was. That's not the point. The point is like people signed up. They were ready to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And that was kind of one thing I said to Billy about when we started. He wanted to be like, oh yeah, we'll just we'll talk about movies and games. And I'm like, no, we gotta think bigger, man. Like, make it be bigger than us. That way you bring people in, you get guests on, talk about their lives, make it a part of your community. Get involved. Like, you have to make it bigger than just you. Otherwise, it's only you playing in your backyard. It's just child's play. Yeah. Like, I would rather be a part of something bigger. And those people definitely wanted to back then.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, enlistment levels are down, and if you listen to Tim Kennedy about finding people that can even go to the special forces, like that's even less than what's required, just because of the way that the world is. I mean, we're fat, old, and out of shape, and myself included.
It's the downside of living in one of the best countries out there. Like, there's no wars being fought on soil, you know, besides
Unless
the war on
you're
drugs. But other than that, you know,
or unless you're in Chicago, I mean, or Detroit, like it's.
Yeah. So, but in most cases, you know, life is very easy, you know, and because of that, you get people who freak out over the littlest things. Like, they generally actually don't have to worry about getting shot when they go outside. Yeah. You know, unlike a lot of cities.
Yeah.
And that level of comfort, you know, definitely makes people, again, put their focus on kind of the wrong things, and they freak out about the stupidest stuff. And I'm like, why do you care about this? It's not that big of a deal. And then, you know, take it to whatever level you want to go to.
But yeah, I think it would help solve a lot of issues. Like if you serve for 2 years in some capacity, Greenpeace, whatever, go see the world. Yeah, college that they drove you to is not. I mean, I don't know what you can even do with a liberal arts degree, but I know a lot of people got them. Yeah.
Not much anymore. Like, I don't even have a degree, and I'm still more successful than most of those people, because, you know, there's more out there than just going to college. Yeah. You know, trades
are dying.
Like a lot of your trades, you can make a lot of money, you know, being a good carpenter or good anything, you know. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, but you know, you can still make a ton of money because no one does it anymore. Yeah.
Some of it too, I feel like, depending on what your line is licensing and restrictions that you need. So it's not easy to get, but you could easily make good bank doing it. So but everybody wants to be a Twitch streamer now. Yeah. When you're 22 and make millions off of some Bitcoin or playing Fortnite, then like, why would you want to go sweat for 12 hours when you can sit for 4 and collect a massive amount of checks? But now people are trying to catch up to that too, so it's like, there's only going to be those ones. Yeah. Like, not everybody's going to be Ninja or...
Of course. And it's that's probably what I like the most about capitalism and a free market is, you know, there will always be people who just make a ton of money. But there's so many different avenues in which you can do it that it gives everyone kind of a chance, you know.
You just gotta find it and work at it.
Yeah, and you kind of gotta almost get there before everyone else, because, you know, the people who started YouTube first, like, you know, PewDiePie and all those other people, like, years and years and years ago, are now pretty wealthy because they were in the front of their game. Yeah. You know, but if, you know, you're tagging along, it's gonna be a lot harder to get there.
Yeah. Crazy stuff in the digital age. Yeah. Or we'll just have a comment that will wipe everything out and just clean slate it and start over again.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Well, not funny, but...
No. It's only good if I survive. Yeah. Or if not, I don't know. If I'd want to help rebuild society.
Yeah, well, they'd be a lot less worried about, you know, stupid stuff if half the population of the planet got wiped out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Perspective.
Yeah, more people need it.
Yeah, definitely. So people who want to learn a little more, you know, watch a show, how do they get in touch with you?
We are on YouTube. We are 4 away from being able to customize that URL. Nice. That's one thing I hate about, like, this social media stuff, is that you almost got to fill quotas before they allow you to, like, run wild. So, like, we're on all the socials at OC Discussions or Off Color Discussions Podcast on Facebook. You'll find us. We're on all the podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, whatever they change it to now, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all that fun stuff. All the Android apps that you can find them. But yeah, 4 away from being able to customize the URL for YouTube. Nice. You have to be at 100 before you can change it for whatever reason. Yeah. Instagram is like 10,000 followers before you can use live links, and it's like, that is the dumbest thing. Like, what if I just want to share it with my friends? Like, who cares if I get 5 people? If I got 5 people that are looking and that's what I'm using, then I should be able to use it. But
Yeah.
I don't have Instagram, or I didn't make Instagram, so I can't, or buy it. I think Facebook owns it. But
Yeah. It's a weird thing, but cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'll have to have you on ours too, man.
Absolutely. And then you can kind of chill out in your sphere.
Yeah.
You guys have all that
So much
drink.
better.
Yeah.
It's been good, man.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely check out the show. It's awesome. And everyone have a great day.